Hey everybody, it's Track King Racing. Got another video trying to again get better and better at getting these videos to you a lot quicker. We've got some cool stuff that's been going on for the car, and we've got some great goals that we're trying to achieve here very soon. So you'll notice I've got quite a bit of things around the garage. I mean, it's never really organized here to begin with too much, but we got a lot going on in the car. And technically speaking, as of when this is being filmed, dyno day will be 2 days away. So there's been a few things that I've been trying to do to improve the car for the dyno, and just making sure that it's in its best form to be able to finally hit the 9,000 RPM club. You may remember last time we broke an axle last time we were at the dyno, so we were only able to get so far, and we need to go back and complete what we started. So what are we doing here? There's a few different things. One, a lot of you 2ZZ guys are probably very familiar with the crankcase vent that comes from the lower portion of the block and goes up and connects to this piece in the valve cover that's inside the engine bay. This is a really a big pain in the butt, especially if you are running aftermarket fuel system like I am with this radium rail right here. So you can actually see that's where the OEM crankcase vent comes up and meets with the valve cover that was over there. So this is a pain in the butt area right here. It's all super tight. It's a bad spot for that to be in, especially when you're running an aftermarket rail. So I wanted to kind of free up some space here, as well as improve the system. So I did some research, and there was a few companies making block off plates for the lower and upper connection part of that ventilation hose. I looked into it a little bit more, and it looked like ventilating the crankcase pressure was still a good thing, so I wanted to kind of take it to the next level. So on the top portion over here on the valve cover, you can see that I definitely did a block off plate, and this is just a rough version of it currently to block off this area. I have two catch cans, the ones right over here, actually, that already connect over here on the valve cover and do a great job at ventilating all of the extra pressure or built up gases that would be inside of the valve cover. On the bottom of the crankcase vent tube, however, what I wanted to do was create a plate, which you can see here. I'm starting to cut it out. It doesn't take much, just a Dremel. And I'm cutting up this material, which is a lot thicker, because I'm actually going to be threading in this AN fitting and then this line right here, and have this independent and go to its own catch can system that I'll put over here in the corner where the ventilation is. So I'll have a catch can over here, one of those, it'll go down and it'll attach to the plate that I'll have the new AN fitting on. With all of that connected to it to allow the ventilation still to happen, but to get it out of the way, hopefully even maybe improve it and clean things up, make things a little bit nicer. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to get done here in the next 2 days to kind of improve the car for the dyno. Not that I was having issues before, but just to be honest, just taking on and off that valve cover, if you know anything about pulling off the 2ZZ valve cover with an aftermarket fuel rail, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just going to be nice to not have that in the way, but it'll also be nice to have an independent system to kind of alleviate any issues in the future and also improve what's going on there. So other than that, the other large thing that I'm doing is pulling off this wheel hub. So I've already pulled off the hub and already had the bearing replaced. There was an issue with the bearing, and it just wasn't inside of turns. I could feel some wobble back and forth, and it seemed like everything was pointing to the wheel bearing, and it seemed like an easy enough solution to get a new wheel bearing, which I did, a Timken wheel bearing, and then had that replaced by a local shop. A friend helped me out there and got it back on, no problem. As you can see, I'm still in the process of getting everything tightened up and put back on, but that's when I kind of stopped myself and said, hey, you know, people might actually want to know about this, because a lot of people want to go to 5-lug conversion, and it's not that difficult. This right here is a simple 5-lug conversion kit from Adaptec Speedware. It was a really easy company to order from. You just go on their website, plug in the specs that you need it to go to, plug in what you want the spacer amount to be, and what you want the studs to be placed at, and then it's just that simple. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to show you guys this Adaptec setup with going 4-lug to 5-lug. So this is it. It's a wheel spacer, but also a wheel adapter. The spacer's made really nice. It's also super, super light. So it basically just goes on, here is the disc, and then this goes on right over the top just as a normal spacer would. All of these screw in with these special low profile lugs, which is probably not very new to most of you. And then the last stud goes in just like this and screws in and sets in there, and then you've got 5 lugs instead of 4, and then you also have a nice spacer. Obviously I needed to use a spacer for the wide body setup that we have. I'm sure most people probably wouldn't need that and probably just need a low spacer with a conversion. But that's how it's done. That's how I managed it on all 4 wheels. Obviously, I haven't had any track time on it yet, so I can't really speak on behalf of that. But I can say, with as much as we have been able to drive the car in the last month or so, that these have held up really, really well. And over the 4.5 years, because I believe it's one of the first things I purchased once I had the wide body, it hasn't given me any issues, and I haven't even need to taken them off or adjust them or anything like that. So yep, that's a good way to go to 5 lugs. In the future, yes, I would love to replace this entire setup and have a 5-lug hub. I think that there's a way to do it from the SW20 chassis, the Gen 2, but I just haven't done my research enough to do that. But that would be the future setup, and then do custom wheels, custom offsets, and have them fit in here perfectly. But for right now, I absolutely love the Koenigs, and I love these Adaptec wheel spacers and conversions. And it's been working really great for me. So other than that, there's a few cool things that's been going on for the build since getting it running and since getting it dynoed, even though it didn't really last the full dyno session. And one of those is a commercial made by Panic made, that the car is actually featured in. And it's a really cool commercial, so I kind of wanted to throw it in this video so that way you guys could all see it. Please make sure to check out panicmade.com and also look up Panic Wire on social media and all that good stuff. Give them some love. They've really, really been helping me out on this build. They're great people. They make a wiring harness now specifically for the 2ZZ. And if you haven't seen their sweet little box, so this is a Link ECU G4 Plus. They make a custom wiring kit for it with lots of options and a beautiful little case that it can go into, mount in the stock location. So it's a sweet setup. But anyway, the commercial came out and it looks absolutely amazing. It's a phenomenal commercial. I'm really happy with the way that it came out. So we're going to throw it in here so you can check a look at it. So here it is.
Developed by Panic Wire. The MRS is Toyota's classic lightweight mid-engine sports car. It's developed a cult following both on and off track. All new from Panic Wire, we have the Link G4X plug-and-play kit. This is the most complete standalone ECU available for the MRS. Everything is plug-and-play for easy installation. There are also features never available in the MRS, such as e-throttle, motorsport track control, launch control, and more. Let's check out the 2ZZ turbo-powered Track King Racing Time Attack machine.
So as you can tell, there was a lot of love and effort put into the advertisement. I think it displays the company, the car, and the product extremely well. I think it came out absolutely amazing. Definitely check out their website, check out their Instagram, and give them some love. And also another cool thing that's happened with the car since getting it running and since getting it moving is I had the opportunity to do a small video bio for a local guy that does a lot of video editing and photos for local cars. He's a car enthusiast. His name's Angel. Really great guy. I'm going to put the link up to his social media account. But we also did a video with him, and I'm going to slide in a small little edit of that video so you can kind of see what we ended up doing with him. But his, I think it's Carolina Tuner. So you can look that up, but I'll definitely put the link in the description as well. But check that out. Well, I mean, essentially the reason why I went to Time Attack, I mean, I was obsessed with GT300 racing.
Looking at the last time we read the dyno, a little crazy circumstances, more about suspension, geometry. I had some stuff going a little too low.
So pretty cool, huh? I mean, it's definitely great to be getting all this attention for the build. You know, to be a part of the build is fantastic. To be building the build is fantastic. To be driving the build is fantastic. But then to be sharing the build with other people is even more fantastic, especially other enthusiasts, people that really appreciate the build. And I know Angel really did. It was great doing the interview with him. I really appreciated his time. We've also had some really cool photo shoots recently. So if you haven't checked out Tracking Racing on Instagram, definitely check out Tracking Racing on Instagram. We got lots of cool local photographers in the Charlotte area that have been taking notice of the build and wanting to take some photos of it. And I really appreciate that. You know, I'm a really broke guy. I put every little extra cent that I have into this, but I don't have a lot more. And although I appreciate the skills of a photographer, anyone that you see that I throw up photos on Instagram has been doing that to help out the build and to help me out. So really give them some love. Make sure to check out their Instagrams and give them a like, give them a follow. That way, you know, their efforts weren't in vain. But again, thank you everybody for your support and love. Hopefully we'll be at the dyno in the next few days here and running it again. All the new changes should make sure that it rolls nice and smooth on the dyno, and make sure that we get the power that we're wanting, which it should be around 350 horsepower. Although I hate to throw up estimates like that because I'm really not into it for the power. I just want a fully functional race car that we can start to get out on the track. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for the support. Remember, if you got to build out in that garage, doesn't matter whether you go out and drill a hole or screw a screw, any bit of time on that build is time well spent. So get out there, get on that build, make those dreams happen.